Tell us if, Welcome back to another episode of Psycosmos. Today we're going to dive into the pineal gland, why it's important, the cultural significances of it, and its purpose. Stay tuned for more.
So all of this is cool, and it's really interesting, and it might give you some introspection and some insight and some respect into how well people of the past might have understood our body, at least on a metaphorical, metaphysical, and to some extent physical level.
Yes.
Beyond all of that, the pineal gland is incredibly important just for your development.
Yeah.
And right now, today, especially in younger people, especially in this country, they're being exposed to substances that are detrimental to their pineal gland, which is bad to say the least, because it's so important.
This is America, by the way. We're talking about America.
And one of the reasons the pineal gland is so important is it's very linked to puberty and the development of sexual characteristics during the period of adolescence.
Yes.
And what happens is it's a sort of a natural process. Your pineal gland will start to develop sort of small granules or crystals within it, and they're primarily made of calcite, which is usually carbon, oxygen, and calcium.
Mm-hmm. But if there's too many of these calcification crystals, your pineal gland essentially becomes calcified. And the calcification of the pineal is corollary with people who have Alzheimer's and dementia in later years in their life. Which, if you interpret a lot of these ancient traditions, it could essentially also be a gateway to another afterlife closing in on itself just based off of how you treat your body. Even in the Bible, it says your body is a temple. It's not a stretch to assume that if our pineals are being attacked, it could be done on purpose. Which brings us to the next point, which is talking about sodium fluoride, I'm assuming?
Yes, mainly, specifically, we want to talk about artificial fluoride,
Yes.
not natural fluoride. Artificial fluoride that's produced, that's primarily the way that we're exposed to it, especially in America, is if you live in America, there's a good 75% chance around there
Probably.
that you have some level of fluoride in your public water supply.
Yes.
Which is rather unfortunate because the pineal gland has more blood flow to it relative to its size than any other part of your body.
Right.
So naturally it absorbs fluoride at a much higher rate.
Mm-hmm.
But as Matthew was saying, the presence of sodium fluoride leads to a different type of crystal buildup around the outside of it that's very detrimental to it, so it can't function as well as it should.
Absolutely. So basically the way this works is you probably have heard that fluoride is very good for your teeth, and that's why they've added it to the water sometime between the 50s and 70s. And that's true. But it's also kind of misleading. Calcium fluoride is actually the correct fluoride that is good for your teeth. Sodium fluoride, however, is a completely different chemical. And it's a very negative chemical for the body, and I'll explain why. When you ingest sodium fluoride, some part of your filtration system in your body takes the sodium fluoride intake once you ingest it, and it turns it into calcium phosphate. Once the calcium phosphate gets entered into your bloodstream, it travels up to your pineal and calcifies your pineal because it's calcium phosphate, and that's just what it does. So it's very strange that sodium fluoride is being so heavily put in our waters. The water you drink from the tap, the water that you shower with, the water that you cook with. If this happened, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and we've had all these studies been coming out talking and discussing about how negative sodium fluoride is for the human body, why haven't we done anything about it to remove it? I mean, this isn't something that got added in like the year 2005. We're talking about, there's been a good 40 or 50 years since this has happened. Actually, I'm pretty sure that the FDA still has it on their website. It says one of their greatest accomplishments of fluoridating the water. So, I mean, there's really a lot that needs to be discussed about the pineal, its significance, and its importance. I think maybe now is the time to inform our viewers why the pineal is important, though. Do you agree? I think we've covered a lot of different topics.
Why is it important? Well, you see...
And we're not talking about culturally. We're not talking about culturally, scientifically, biologically. It's all-encompassing. This one concept of the pineal is why not only we started our channel, Psycosmos, why you're watching this video, but it's also one of the most important and heavily guarded human secrets that has ever existed in humanity. The reason the pineal is so important is because it is part of a trinity of a biological process known modernly as the sacred secretion that runs throughout your body once every month. And if you continuously cultivate this cross-cultural, multiple different stories, multiple different interpretations about this one important process, if you cultivate this process within your body, you will see amazing results and you will achieve greatness, long life, increased health, happiness. You'll do away with depression and anxiety and negative emotions to some degree, and you'll feel, like he said, awakened, enlightened, etc., etc. The pineal is one of the most important aspects of this process, which is why it was basically worshipped all throughout history. And not only that, but there are also different aspects of that entire biological process as well that was heavily worshipped too.
So as we've talked a little bit about the sacred secretion and about this this special solar Jesus seed,
Yes.
as I call them.
Yes.
That's
just our nickname for it.
Yes. So this Jesus seed, when it's implanted in you, it is more or less ready for you to use it and to respect it and to raise it up. But it needs some help. It needs to be baptized, if you will, by good old John the Baptist.
Right.
So you, my good friend, you are John the Baptist. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but if you're interested in this, what's beneficial is to think about it like the Trinity in your brain, as the Trinity in the heavens is the claustrum, the pineal gland, and the pituitary gland.
Yes.
It's the Father, the Son, and
the
Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Whatever Trinity you want to think of it as. So the claustrum first secretes this special oil, and it's differentiated, and there's different properties put into it in both the pineal and the pituitary.
Right.
And it's these special fluids that flow down your spine that you have to cultivate, and you raise these up to then sort of, I guess you could think of it as shield this Jesus seed, baptize him, and carry him up your Jordan River spine to your brain, where then he sits in your thalamus and dies.
And for 3 days.
Actually gets multiplied in power a bunch, and then he raises to the top of your brain and lights up your entire brain.
Right.
Dormant brain cells light up. You
create more cerebrospinal fluid.
You become sort of enlightened, and we're not trying to oversell it, but
so
you become more aware and appreciative, and you just feel a sense of awakening
and belonging and purpose. So I think that pretty much
summarizes all we got to say. If you want more information, there are 2 books we highly recommend you read. There's one that is called The God Design. I cannot remember the full subtitle.
The God Design: Secrets to the Mind, Body, and Spirit, or something like that.
By Kelly Marie Kerr. She did a great job. It's a fantastic book. And then the second book, it's one of her biggest sources, and I highly recommend you read this book.
Everybody should read this book.
This one, it's not quite as much of an easy read. It's a little bit older.
It's very difficult read.
He's a little bit all over the place, and I highly recommend that you have a Bible on hand for it. But it's called God-Man, Word Made Flesh by Dr. George W. Carey and Ines Eudora Perry.
And I believe that when Jim Carrey, the actor who recently talked about a lot of these concepts, when he was discussing a lot of this information, I have a feeling it's because he probably Googled his own name and he found Dr. Carey's work and then was able to figure it out.
So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is
Quick, get a dictionary.
Christ coming down into human form. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing.
Even Jim Carrey is talking about this, and not that Jim Carrey is God. I mean, he was in that one movie, Bruce Almighty. But I don't think that's a coincidence. So, again, there's a lot of information about this. This isn't some form of pseudoscience. This is actually being modernly awakened and talked about right now as we're moving on towards greater aspects of humanity. And this is something that the scientific community needs to discuss and openly talk about for humanity and people.
Just real quick, just as an ending note, because we would be remiss if we didn't tell you. Again, not telling you what to do with your life.
Right.
But for your benefit, if you're actually interested in doing this, just so you know, the absolute number 1, 2 worst things you can do for this entire process.
Right.
Drinking alcohol. 2, what's generally referred to as, I don't know the proper way supposed to say this on YouTube anymore, but what's generally referred to by different cultures and different people who have different versions of this process as destructive adult time practices. Really?
Can we not say that word?
I don't know anymore. With
Yeah, with YouTube guidelines.
Freaking people.
Well, we're marking this as not for kids, so I'm hoping that we can. Okay, look, you cannot spill your seed, and you should not partake in alcohol during this process. Those are the two biggest things that are the worst thing for you in this entire process.
You know, fun fact, did you know that one of the only times God has like come down to the Bible and just like
killed a
directly,
guy,
like, bam,
was because,
smoke, dead,
yeah,
was when he was spilling his seed,
and he was the good guy. He was the good brother.
I mean, yeah, all he was like, I don't want to impregnate my dead brother's wife because this is my dead brother's wife.
Yeah, and so he
God was like, do it.
Yeah.
Give her a child for your brother. It wouldn't actually work that way. It'd still be his kid. But, you know. So
and then God came, killed him. Yeah, God came down and killed him because he was whacking off.
Don't come on the ground.
Don't come on the ground. Shoot high.
Team Psycosmos. You know, don't come on the ground.
Oh my God, this was a crazy episode. All right, well,
we love you.
We love you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think about the pineal gland.
Let us know your experiences with the Sacred Secretion if you have any. Let us know what you think about it. And again, we're not sages. We know a little bit. And anything you know that you want to share with us,
please.
Anything you think that we're wrong about, or that you think that you're right about, or that we're right about, please let us know.
Let us know. Thanks, guys. We love you. Take care.